Y'all remember Lil Mosey? Very big back in the SoundCloud 2017, 2018 era. I remember first song I heard from him, Pull Up. Very big hit for him. Then Noticed after that. And then, of course, Blueberry Faygo. Massive hit. Way bigger than I thought it would be when I heard that thing come out, but it's a very good song. And then he started to taper off a little bit, and around 2020 he had some really horrible allegations come his way. The media really turned on him in a really ugly light, but we'll get more into that later. First, let's get back to the SoundCloud era.
I ain't had no dad. Growing up, I was with my mom. So why the fuck would you ever think I would touch that girl wrong?
When melodic mumble rap, if you will, was taken over, Mosey was one of these guys in the forefront of this space. As the lyrics weren't incredibly important, it's not like there was nothing there, particularly for Mosey. It's not like there was nothing there, but there was nothing too deep, all right? He was never a J. Cole. He was never an Eminem, but he definitely got a lot of attention for the vibes, the musicality of it, and just his brand in general. I remember me and my friends would listen to Pull Up, Noticed. I swear I would hear that like 10 times a day. Very catchy, very quality music, and really made a name for Mosey. And he would go on to drop a lot of stuff in between Noticed popping off in the way it did that didn't quite make the same noise. And I remember distinctly thinking that was it for Mosey. Getting on the 2019 XXL cypher, he got washed for his freestyle, if y'all remember that. Probably unjustly, because that was, in hindsight, he was on a cypher with Meg Thee Stallion and DaBaby, these titans that everybody was like immediately turned on him. And of course, in his cypher, it did not help. The contents of his cypher.
Okay, this a lame ass beat. Walk up on your bitch, my dick, 8 feet.
And then Blueberry Faygo pops off in a way that personally I didn't even think it would have the potential to.
I have these lyrics I could put on there, so in my head, I didn't like say it to the room, but I was just like, oh, that's what I'm gonna do. And then, yeah, I did that. And honestly, like after that day, I never heard the song again until like 2 years later or something, like a year later, because I just forgot about it. I didn't really know like how good the song was at the time.
That's by far his biggest track. I still hear it to this day. Like, it's a very good song.
After Blueberry Faygo, it was definitely like, it went from like, okay, people know who I am, to like, every time I go anywhere, like people look at me and want to, like, you know.
Totally. And from there, it's like, okay, he's like essentially like a pop rapper. He gets on Kid Leroy's project. He gets all these different features. He becomes a very big character in the industry. And frankly, looking back from where we're at now in Mosey's career, this seems awfully sweet, because things got real dark from here. As in 2020, a girl would come out with allegations saying that
Mosey of sexually assaulting her at a cabin. As the story goes, she and a girlfriend went to the undisclosed location to meet up with Mosey and wound up indulging in White Claws and champagne. Although one of the alleged victims initially consented to having sex with a 19-year-old rapper in a vehicle, she eventually blacked out. A short time later, she alleges Mosey got on top of her and piled her legs apart so he could have sex with her again. The woman recalled having pain in her leg muscles when Mosey was pushing her legs. Once she came to, she says another man was forcing himself on her. In the affidavit, the woman says that she suffered injuries, including bruising on her arm, neck, and inner knee. She also claims that she got a message from one of the people at the party that said Mosey and another guy were talking about training 2 girls. If convicted, Lil Mosey could face up to life in prison. But yeah.
As goes without saying, this had a massive impact on the course of his career, but first and foremost, his life in general. I'm sure for a moment, he thought that his life in general was over. And compounding on this, it really didn't help that he ended up missing court dates, and the media ran wild with this, making all sorts of crazy claims and painting an image not in a positive light for Mosey. As makes sense, as when something like this comes out, it is important to take it with a certain level of severity. And because, you know, there are some real monsters in the media, as we're seeing more and more nowadays. And this is about where the media stopped covering it. Because if you look into it, Mosey has done just about everything he needs to do to clear his name, proving that these were false allegations.
That to have to prove your truth. Can you just tell me what that feels like genuinely?
I mean, yeah, I feel like for anybody going through a situation like
it's
that,
all we have, right? Like, is our honesty.
Yeah, of course. And like, yeah, I mean, like, I'm not gonna say my situation was any worse than anybody else's, but when you're in front of like the whole world, and then something like that happens, and they start calling you something that you're not. Like, it definitely feels like a million times like worse than like anything I could imagine. But I mean, it was a blessing in disguise. Like, at first, I just lived just like the people I was around and like the situations I put myself into, like something like that came from that. So like, it's also falls on me that I have to surround myself around the right people, and like I have to do the right things with my life. And
Totally.
like, I didn't know the best way to deal with it, and like I didn't know like if I should like go on the internet and be like, this wasn't me, like da da da, and like, so I just did the first thing I could think of, and I just deleted Instagram, and I was like, I just gotta stay away from this shit. And I didn't leave my house for like 2 months. I didn't leave my house. I was like, and then the first time I left my house, I was like, just I forget where I was, but then like people started yelling some shit at me, and I was like, damn. Like, so I went back in the house. I didn't come out for like another 2 weeks. I was like, it was tough at first, but I kind of got used to it.
Do you care about letting the world know that you took a polygraph and you passed with flying colors?
I mean, like,
And the justice system and all the scales of justice in our society have found you not guilty.
I mean, of course, I'd want the world to know that. I mean, because I feel like after all the bad things that came on the internet, a lot of the good stuff didn't ever pop back up for people. And that's just how the internet works.
Do you ask in that moment why you?
Of course, I asked that a bunch of times. Why do I have to go through this shit? But I just learned like asking those questions like doesn't really solve anything. So it's, yeah. But I mean, I think I mean at the end of it though, like where I'm at now, like I'm cool with it. Like I know I feel like I'm a better person today than I was.
And even going on to release a really good song that I don't think ever got released as a full version.
I ain't had no dad. Growing up, I was with my mom. So why the fuck would you ever think I would touch that girl wrong?
Really hit emotionally with me as somebody that grew up with just a mother. And this is part of the reason why I really feel for Mosey. I hope that he has the ability to turn this around. The allegations are still being held against him by the general public. They just don't, the nature of the internet, as I talk about all the time, the negative always goes to the moon, and then when the actual accurate information comes out that isn't as negative or glamorous, it doesn't get the immediate attention that it should. Just kind of the nature of the beast, right? An unfortunate reality, but that is the internet. Because Mosey did nothing wrong. It was all lies. But it may have cost him his whole career. Of course, he's kept his head down and continued forward, but there's only so much you can do with something like that, right? And you can tell in that interview that it really gets to him. It really hurts. But I still think there's hope for Mosey. If you look, he's dropping pretty consistently, and it's not bad. It's more rock, melodic kind of feel. And it feels like distancing himself from the more hip-hop sound that he's come up with and built his fans off of. And I think that, if he fully commits to this and does it in a way that really works, I think that this could be a big move for him.
So how would you describe this new Lil Mosey, and how'd you get to this sound?
I mean, there's a few reasons. There's a few reasons I chose to like make, go in the direction I'm going. I feel like, honestly, it's not really too different than, it's like a little more like,
It's a little different.
It's a little different. It is. But like, and it's not that I don't want to like, and I'm not trying to disrespect any rappers out there. I make rap music too, so, but I just don't, it doesn't really make me feel as good as it did before, like when I hear it and stuff. So it's like, it's been like kind of like, not boring, but just like, I don't know, just something about it just doesn't really like affect me the same way. So, definitely down the road, I definitely plan on dropping some rap music. Yeah.
Can you not get that substance through rap?
No, you can. You can. It's just like, my type of like rap song is like just a life that I'm not really living right now. Like, I'm not like, I don't really go out. I'm not around like a lot of people. I'm not getting high, getting drunk. So like, don't get me wrong, like it's fun and I like making music like that. And I think one day like I might, but real soon, I don't know.
I wonder what like a rap song would sound like true to like your current situation, as opposed to just like life that people think you need to live, right? Because isn't that a big thing? Like rap portrays this idealized or really dramatized, really, I mean, in a bunch of ways, kind of like depending on where it sways, like, you know, it like it projects a lifestyle that's not necessary all the time.
Exactly. Like when you drop a rap song, you're automatically put in a box, and like I don't really want to be boxed in. Like, so even though one day I definitely plan on dropping rap music again, I want to like show people that I'm more than just like, you know.
He's doing the Lil Mabu strategy, and he started like vlogging and doing like more personality stuff.
You be carrying around the camera all the time. That shit's so dead, my nigga. Just the feeling of like, niggas looking at me like I'm a YouTuber and shit. Like, I got you. I can't do it, man. I don't know how to do it.
And I think that this is a really good idea just for any rapper in general to try to show a lot more of their real self, a lot more of their personality, to get that out there in front of the people, because so much of hip-hop is about your brand. And honestly, at the state of hip-hop, your actual music is like the least important thing about your brand nowadays. It's about those TikTok clips, it's about the personality moments, it's about showing people who you are, so that they can buy into the music. So I think Mosey has a real chance of popping off again and getting a hit, because the fan base is still there. Like, every song gets like 1 million views. Like, there's still a fan base. Let's check what his monthly streams are, actually. He's got 7 million streams on Spotify, so frankly, doing better than Lil Skies. No hate. All love. Y'all know how I feel about Lil Skies. Y'all know how I rock with Lil Skies. But I definitely think that there's hope for Lil Mosey in the future. I hope so, at least, because he seems like he got done wrong and doesn't deserve the media attention that he has on him. Go mess with Lil Mosey. He deserves it. And that's about all I have for this video. I love y'all. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Let me know what you think about this topic or what else I can do in the future down below. I love y'all. Peace out. Peace on the streets.
You know, Mort, I think you're beginning to grow.
Well, sir, I don't know how much value I have in this universe, but I do know that I made a few people happier than they would have been without me. And as long as I know that, I'm as rich as I ever need to be. So I'll catch you on the rebound, your magnitude. Until next week, Nanu, Nanu.